All right, so today I was asked, what the hell is so great about a Roth? Chris, you talk about it all the time. What is it that makes a Roth so special? And I got to tell you, I know it's not normal for people to be excited to talk about their investments and their finances and stuff, but dagnabbit, I'm excited to talk about a Roth. To answer the question, first of all, there are several things. The top three are that with a Roth, the money that you put in it grows tax-free. So that means you fund it with after-tax dollars, money that you've already paid taxes on. And then neither the principal that you put in, the contributions, nor the interest are ever taxed again. And that's great because the purpose of an investment account is supposed to be to build you a huge nest egg. The idea, if you're doing it right, is for it to grow and for you to potentially have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in there when you retire, right? And to not ever have to pay taxes on that money, that is outstanding. The other thing that's great about a Roth is that you've got accessibility. With a 401k or a traditional IRA, once you put the money in there, you can't take anything out of it without paying taxes and penalties on that money. But with a Roth, because you've already paid taxes on that money once, any contributions that you've made, you can take out whenever you would like. And that to me is great because should things go south, should hardships arise, at least you've got a recourse. At least you've got something you can access. The third thing about a Roth that makes it so awesome is unlike 401ks and whatnot, you should have hundreds, if not thousands, of options as far as what exactly you can invest in. When you have a 401k through work, usually you're limited to a few funds. In particular, for example, my wife and I, she invests in her 401k because the company matches the funds that she puts in up to a certain percentage, blah, blah, blah. Surely you know the deal. If not, I'm happy to go into it another time. But so we have both. We have a Roth and we have a 401k that we contribute to. With a 401k, there are only 26 funds for us to choose from. 26 options. And I got to tell you, most of them are crap. And that's being nice and being generous. Many of the options are just, they don't even keep up with inflation. Inflation hovers around 2 to 5%, and several of the funds that my wife can invest in her 401k haven't even shown that good of a rate of return. Now, that's not that it's completely impossible to do well in a 401k. We have. And a lot of people would be extremely happy with just the results that we've had. But in a Roth, you've got access to more funds, more options. You have a lot more freedom over what you're doing with your money. Holy crap, here comes a whole horde. Alright, well, let's see if I can keep this going despite the battle. So, oh crap. Yes, get away. I'm trying to talk here. Can't you see I'm doing a video? Dagnam, you're interrupting. Rude. Okay, there we go. So, I covered tax benefits. I covered freedom and options. I covered accessibility. Just to give you guys an example, and again, I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to inspire with the success that we've had. Just before plopping down to record this video, I looked to see how well we had done with our Roth versus our 401k. Our Roth over the last 2 years has returned 55.69%. I wrote it down. First of all, because I was crazy excited about that. I hadn't even realized that. And second of all, because that's just astounding. A 2-year rate of return of 55% on our investments. That's the power of having options to choose from. Now, I said that our 401k had not done as good. I don't want you to think that, it's just miserable and not worthwhile. Our 401k, by comparison, has returned 37%. Pretty much dead on. Now, granted, they're both still doing great. They're doing much better than the 12% that you look for as a rate of return in your investments. But there's a big difference between what our Roth has returned and what our 401k has returned. And that's just some of the benefits that are there for you. One other big benefit that matters to some people is, unlike a 401k and unlike a traditional IRA where you have to take withdrawals, a Roth, you don't. You can just let it continue to grow. You can continue to contribute to it. Most IRAs make you start taking withdrawals from it at around 72 years of age. But a Roth, nope, that's not the case. Now, you might be asking, okay, why wouldn't you want to take money out of your Roth? Well, that's a great question. And the answer is, if you are doing well enough, if you have managed your money, if you've started a business, if you've invested in other things, then you might not need the money that's in your Roth. And then you can use your Roth as a generational wealth transfer. It's something that you can use to leave a nest egg to your children or to your grandchildren. It's that awesome. Now, there are some limitations with the Roth. I don't want you to just think that everything is all roses and cream. You're only allowed to contribute $6,000 a year to your Roth. So it does limit you in that way. And as I mentioned earlier, you've got, and dang it, get out of there. You've got income restrictions as well. If you're making above a certain amount, then it... Dang it. Nice. If you're making above a certain amount, then you won't be able to contribute to a Roth. So, I know I've covered a lot of ground. I know I've also been a little bit distracted with my zombie killing here. But hopefully this little bit has convinced you of some of the power that lies there. If you're under 50 years old, your contribution limits are $6,000. If you're over 50 years old, there's a catch-up provision where you can drop in $7,000 a year. I am now to that stage, so we didn't start taking advantage of Roth until, honestly, the last 10 years and didn't get serious about it until the last 5. So we're behind the game. If you're young, if you're just starting out, then that is why I stress so much for young people to drop in $6,000 as soon as they turn 18. If they do that, and that's the only contribution they ever make to their Roth, it can grow to over $700,000 by the time they're 60, assuming that they've averaged a 12% rate of return, which is extremely attainable. Likewise, if you're a young person and you start out on the right track by contributing to a Roth, starting when you're 18 and contribute the $6,000 a year up to age 50, contribute $7,000 a year beyond age 50, you will be a multi-millionaire by the time you retire at age 60, assuming you've averaged a 12% rate of return. I ran the numbers. I believe it's over $7 million. And you can have one, and your spouse can have one. And together, you can have an even bigger nest egg, an even better retirement fund. And that's why I stress getting into it. It's something that was brought about, that's come about in the last 25, 30 years. The whole point to it is to encourage young people to invest. Companies are doing away with pensions. Which honestly is a good thing. My wife's pension fund barely averaged 3% as a rate of return. To be honest, we'd have been better off managing those funds on our own. So we took they gave us a buyout option, and we took advantage of it and rolled some of that into our Roth and some of it into other things. So if you have that option, I strongly encourage you to take advantage of that. But I know I've gone on and on. Some of you may have zoned out, but I'm extremely excited to talk about a Roth, its power, its benefits, the potential that's there. And it is something that you should be looking into, taking advantage. You should be getting with, you can log on to Schwab, you can log on to Fidelity, you could set up an account from the comfort of your own home. There's people that you can chat with online to help guide you. They have professionals, or you can just dig in, do a little bit of research and educate yourself and manage it yourself. You can fund it on a monthly basis. You can have, just make regular contributions out of your bank account rather than just dumping in a lump sum of $6,000 each year, and let it grow and let it build.